What up, YouTube? We're chilling like rockstar villains. Drinking on some water. Been cutting down on my drinking the last couple of days. Haven't really had any alcohol, and I'm just fine with that. It's good to take a hydration break. I'm gonna do a hangout stream. Just hang out with you for an hour at least. Now, I want to apologize for the opening in my Pizza Hut review. I still got plenty of that pizza left. I was hangry and I kept on fucking up on the video and I got mad at myself, and it doesn't excuse my behavior, or nor does it excuse me being hard on myself. I'm a perfectionist with autism, so that's always fun. And got some donations. Shout out to Ryan. Thank you for your $20 holler to Cash App. Appreciate y'all donating. If you want to shout out, you know what to do. Better not go live, boy. Well, thanks, Nathan, for your 1 cent. I'm live right now. Nothing you can do about it, bud. No one's forcing you to watch my live videos. You know what I find really amusing about my YouTube trolls, to be honest, YouTube? They spend every day telling me not to go live, and it's like, it doesn't determine my decision whether I go live or not. No one's forcing you to watch my videos, dude. The documentary will be out sometime next week. We're finalizing it as we speak, or should I say, your favorite son is. That's what's up. He's going to email a copy of the final documentary before I approve it, and that'll be nice. So, yeah. I got 75 tapes left, and tomorrow I'll be going to my P.O Box to sign the tape covers that people are getting with the deluxe album. That's what's up. Also had a fan who sent me some magic cards he wanted me to autograph, so I did that as well. I'll be sending that in the mail as well tomorrow. And as soon as I get those tape covers mailed back, I'll get $200 of what's left from being paid for my music, and I'm looking forward to that because I could really use it. Went a little broke over the weekend doing food reviews and getting food for Puff, but that's all right. Like, who cares if I'm fat? I'm not a stupid retard. I'm a lot smarter than people give me credit for. Although when things don't go perfect, or like we all get mad at ourselves, I tend to, you know, but I'm working on it. It's gotten better over the years. I won't say it's perfect, but it has gotten better. So I heard that Windy City Deliveries is closing their doors. I can honestly say that sucks because I thoroughly enjoyed their service. I always gave their drivers 5-star reviews. It was a nifty little deal in Casper, especially in the wintertime when you couldn't walk anywhere. Speaking of winter, Sam Hyde wants me on Fish Tank, and I'd be happy to go on when the weather's more warm. I appreciate the opportunity that Sam Hyde is offering, and I'd definitely take him up on it when the weather's warmer. Only reason is because I gotta take care of Puff, dude. I'd love to go on Fish Tank with Sam Hyde and a bunch of random content creators, but if it wasn't during the winter time, I'd totally be down to do it. Traveling in the winter sucks, especially if you live in good old Wyoming like I do. Right now, my main priority is just making sure I keep Puff safe. And Wyoming winters can be brutal, so keeping him warm and fed and happy is and healthy is going to be more important than going on a reality show. A lot of people keep asking me, "You need to go on Fish Tank? You going to go on Fish Tank?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would love to go on Fish Tank with Sam Hyde and a bunch of other awesome content creators. You know, drink, smoke, party, chill out." The only thing I didn't like about the show Fish Tank was how classless people were being. You know, it's like Sam Hyde's offering you a chance and you just trash the house. It's disgusting. But I'd love to go on Fish Tank with Sam Hyde. The offer sounds too good to be true, you know. They're like, we're gonna fill his room up full of cartons of cigarettes. And I'm just like, yes. Maybe in like season 3 or 4 I'd go on, but season 2 is during the winter time and I can't travel very much in the winter. Keep in mind that winters in Casper consist of snow covering your entire fucking car. You live in a mountain town, you're gonna get snow. Now the opportunity to get my channel more exposure, win some cash, make some friends. It's an awesome opportunity to be on Fish Tank, and I appreciate the offer. I'm definitely down, you know. When the weather's more warm, you know. I don't feel like I'm famous enough on YouTube to be on Fish Tank anyway, but that's just me being humble. I thought long and hard about this, and I would go on Fish Tank if next season was in the warmer months. But right now, taking care of Puff is more important. My trolls need psychological help more than I do. Jesus Christ. But fuck those losers. If they were not jealous of Cobra, they wouldn't fuck with me. That's just how it is. I am not monetized, no. So you can't just donate money directly through the streams, but every view my channel gets on my videos goes towards my Google AdSense. That takes a while to build up when you're a small time YouTuber like I am. And cheers to 60,000 subscribers. That is just awesome. Thank you so much from the bottom of my gothic heart. I really do appreciate that. 25 bucks. Noise. My account is in the negative from ordering Puff food and doing food hacks for myself and reviews over the weekend. So Yeah, I do appreciate all the generosity. You don't have to donate, but if you do, it's greatly appreciated. Shout out to Zach. Thank you for your $5 holler to PayPal. That's what's up, dude. Grant, thank you for your troll donation of $1.36. What you should have said is, your cock smells. I'm sorry to hear your cock smells, Grant. Maybe you might want to wash up with some tactical soap and it won't stink. That's not how bullying works, dumbass. Bullies are supposed to take money away from their bully victims, not give them money. My trolls are stupid. Like, beyond stupid. Shout out to Slime Bender Money Gang from Graham. Thank you for your $6.66 donation via PayPal. I appreciate that. Like I said, you guys don't have to donate, but if you do, it's appreciated. Don't have any beer to drink, and I'm fine with that. I would crack open a beer if I had one. Why would I shout myself out? That seems a bit narcissistic.
To keep my immune system supported, I take Stammet 7. It's a 7-species blend, especially formulated by yours truly.
This person is a biological woman who is having regrets about trying to be a man. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a video that's going viral all over the internet of a biological woman who identifies as transgender.
If it's so boring, then I'll just block you from my channel. Save you the fucking headache. Again, if you don't like my content, why watch?
Who is having regrets about trying to be a man. And when I say being a man, I'm talking about just living every day, going outside, a certain kind of attention you get, your social interactions, just trying to be a man. Now, there's some things you're not going to have to deal with that we deal with, your more biological things, but that's a different story. I'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. But just the physical appearance and trying to be in our world might be a little bit too much for women, which is why we are not you. I don't want to live life as a woman, and I think most women do not want to live life as men. Simple as that. Now, before I go any further, let's get into the clip. If you want to see it in full, link as always will be in the description. Please do not harass this person. Leave all your comments here on this video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
If you'd like to donate, Cash App or PayPal, I'll put those in chat real quick. That's how you donate. Those are my Cash App and PayPal. You don't have to, but it's appreciated if you do.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. I'd close.
Join the club, brother. That's how it is. So the story goes, there is a woman who is transitioned into a man, and nobody told him that being a dude can suck sometimes. And so we're going to watch this video all the way through while I read chat, and then I'll give you my 2 cents on it. How's that sound?
Friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning. Because women are just so much more vulnerable and deep than men. But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what death felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us and to have people want to talk.
I'm not obsessed with gender identity. I believe in fighting for equality. There's a difference. And why do you care?
Us. And have a community, and then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build, and people are colder. And what's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white.
My trolls are more obsessed with me than I am with gender relation rants.
All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Fuck suicide.
Because this shit is lonely. And I'm an emotionally mature man. I know how to build friendships, and it is still really, really hard. Try to think about how you can in your small little community where you feel.
This is where men and women are separate. I see a chick who transitioned into a dude, and I'm not going off on YouTube like, quit wearing my gender as a costume. Fuck that shit. We're all just trying to live our life, man. Fuck sickos.
Safe. Can reach out to the men in your life and just help them feel maybe seen for a moment. Or do little conversations to help their emotional maturity so that they can reach out to people and have deeper guy friendships. No.
Okay, there's a lot here. There's a whole lot. First of all, I don't feel 1 ounce of sympathy for this person. Okay, you chose to go this direction. Now you got to deal with it. Now you got to deal with it. If you're having regrets, go back the other way. All right. You want to be in our world. Now, here you are. Here you are. You're an adult. I'm not sure when you transitioned, if you became transgender as an adult. I don't think there was anybody that was coercing you at 35 years old, however old you are. This is your decision. Now you got to live with it. Now, there's a few things in there. First of all, do not take advice from a woman about how to be a man. Talking about some, oh, well, you got to reach out to your guy friend, make sure they're okay. That's not how men operate. Okay, I am a man. I understand what being a man is. Okay, I've been a man for a long time. You see, I got the gray hair in my beard. I'm not new to it. I'm true to it. You don't need all this extra emotional support, all this thing. And the third, what men need is a purpose, a reason to get up out the bed every day.
I agree with that, but at the same time, it is nice that when people actually reach out, because men are told in our society you can't share your emotions, otherwise you're weak. So therefore, like, most men will not reach out to each other. And no, they don't need that, but at the same time, it is nice when it's like, hey, how you doing? You know?
You don't need all this social interaction like women need. We're not going to be on camera crying. We don't do that. Any men out there, do not cry in front of your woman. You know, you want to cry, do it by yourself, man, because you got to always be strength.
That's where I disagree. Fuck your simp shaming. It's okay to cry in front of your woman. It shows you're not afraid to show your vulnerable side, and women think that shit's sexy.
Always be the pillar of strength, of
And if you want to smell sexy for the ladies, check out Tactical Soap, coupon code KingCobra.
See, you always got to be that. Especially if you got kids, they got to see you as the ultimate leader, the dictator. You know, they got to see you as that. They cannot see you as weak or a guy that needs support from elsewhere. You got to be solid within yourself always, always as a man. That is just part of being a man. Now, if you don't like that kind of ideology, if you don't like that lifestyle, well, be a woman. Just be who you were born as. Be who God made you as. Okay.
$100 to shave my sweet goatee. Yeah, fuck that. I ain't enough money.
Like here's an example.
Soggy paintbrush. You're hilarious.
When I'm talking about social interaction and men and women being different. Let's go to the gym.
Lawns when I can.
Now, typically, not all the time. Well, actually, ABL, sometimes, typically, men are going to be in the gym doing their own thing, doing their own routine, their own workout by themselves. It's usually not going to be a bunch of guys working out together. Sometimes it can be like that, but for the most part, it's not. Now, women typically, not all the time, are going to be in groups, Zumba, that kind of stuff, because women thrive in social settings with each other. They need support systems and people to depend on, and all this and that and the third. They look for these things. They thrive in these environments. Men are not like that. Now you're talking about it's lonely and you're just a guy or whatever. Is it because you're not getting as much attention as you did before? You're going on your social media before, you got your DMs lit up, everybody trying to hit you up. You go out in public, people are nice to you. They want to do things for you when you're a woman, but as a man, it ain't that same way. You're not gonna have men just come up to another man and try to do things for him. Okay, typically, I mean, if I'm in the Home Depot parking lot and I see a guy in his truck struggling to get something loaded, maybe I'll give him a hand, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to open the door. If a guy drops his phone on the ground, I'm not gonna pick it up. Here, sir. I ain't doing all that. That's not what men do with other men. We do it with women because that's what nature over the course of many, 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 many years has done for us. It's made us be that way. So, okay, I
And
understand.
that's the problem with the world anymore, dude. People don't stop and help each other. It's the truth. That's the problem with the world anymore. No one stops and helps each other. It's sad. Born here in Casper, Wyoming. Thanks for asking, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it.
And you are feeling a certain kind of way, but that's just the test of man, and you got to deal with it. You have to deal with it. You know, that's what we go through. Now, matter of fact, I have another video for you guys. Jordan Peterson. This is a great video that people should watch to be able to understand what men go through. And it's not even necessarily to be a pity party.
$18.51. God damn, son. That's a lot of donos. I appreciate that. Read those off real quick after I transfer it. I feel like men are being told a very toxic message in our society by assholes like Andrew Tate. That's just my opinion. Oh, you're funny, Dan. Dan needs a bath, I guess. Thanks for your $1, dude. My children are so desperate. Shout out to Philip. Thank you for your $7.17 donation to PayPal. I appreciate it. I plan on going on fish tank when the weather's warmer. But thank you, Grant, for your $1. Jack, thank you for your $4.20. First time donor, long time fan. Please do the famous Cobra hiss, whatever that means. I love you, Josh. All hail the Cobra cult. Amen to that. Yes, pledge your loyalty to me and you will be greatly rewarded. Also, how much would it take to slither on the ground like a snake? I'm not capable of doing that, but I appreciate the support. The famous Cobra hiss. That's hilarious. Okay, that was kind of funny. That wasn't as bad as some of the shit I do get, Dan. But thank you for your $1. I don't understand the point of trolling, to be quite honest with you. Even if it's not malicious trolling, like, what's the point? Anthony, thank you for your $1 holler. Cobra, what are your thoughts on LGBTQ plus attempting to heavily influence children? Give me a shout. AJ Universe. I support LGBTQ, but I think there's a line you shouldn't cross. There's a big difference between grooming and teaching kids acceptance. That's what I think. And I think the tucking swimsuits at Target are too far. But thank you for your donation to PayPal, Anthony. I appreciate it. Teaching kids not to bully each other because they're different, it's not necessarily a bad thing. My first donation to anyone goes to you. I love watching your videos and would love to see more reviews and cooking videos. Hell yeah, thanks. I love seeing you take care of Puff. Oh, do I love Puff? You don't even know. Don't listen to the haters, just laugh and appreciate the lovers of your content. Vampire Druidus. Thank you, Cheyenne, for your $6.66 donation. Yeah, fuck the haters, dude. Long live Ozzy and Puff, that's for damn sure. Cope 10. Thank you for your 10 cents. I don't care when my dry spell ends, bud. That's your choice, not mine. There's this thing called consent. I'm not even gonna read that out loud. People fucking are more obsessed with her than I am, and it's sad. $6 holler. Wah, 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 to Cash App. Cherry, thank you for your $5. Yeah, you're not even a real. That is such bullshit. I'm not reading that out loud. Tactical soap's the business. Blake, thank you for your $1. Shout out to Derek Walls. Well, there you go, Blake. Shout out to Derek. Thank you for your donation to Cash App. I appreciate it. And thank you to the trolls for donating money to my Cash App. I really appreciate it. You want to call me a fucking e-bagger and make fun of me for making money on the internet, and then you give me money. It's like, I don't understand the logic behind that. I think my trolls are secretly retarded. That's what I think. That's what I think, YouTube. It'll cash out when it wants to. I don't care. But back to the video we were responding to.
This is just men. This is just what it is. I don't think this is a bad thing. It's just a thing. Okay. I prefer to be by myself, working, getting things done. I do all my videos and all my production by myself. I get things done better when I do it by myself. That's just how it is. Women love teams and they love collaboration and they love people. That's just what they do because they got to nurture babies and whatnot from infant stage where they can't communicate. They got to be connected emotionally. Then they got the meemaws and the.
He's not lying. Women tend to be more in tune with their emotions because they are mothers. Therefore, they tend to be more social creatures, whereas men tend to be more brooding. I've noticed that.
Aunties and the grandmas around. Men don't do that. Check it out. Hold on, let's get a little bit of sound. That might help because we need that.
We've met some of your fans, and we got the impression they were all male fans, that the ones that we talked to, and that they were struggling with their manhood, and that you give them this message that it's okay to be.
It's going good. How do you feel about race swapping? I think it's total BS. When a white person complains about a white character being turned black, I kind of feel like they're showing their race card, you know, like they're being secretly super racist. When black people complain about it, rightfully so, they feel like the inclusivity is being forced. However, if you did not include people of color in these movies, then they would throw a fit and say we're not being included. So it's like you can't win, dude. It's so frustrating. And it's like, can we just go to a movie or watch a cartoon without being offended? That's just my 2 cents on it, Hollywood. Take it or leave it. You know, if I'm taking my kid to see Little Mermaid, I don't give a shit if the main character is black, as long as my kid is safe and they enjoyed the movie. Fucking stupid. I don't have a kid yet. I wouldn't mind starting a family if I built my clock tower dream house. If I had a son, I'd name him Jason. If I had a daughter, I'd name her Lilith. And they take my last name as their middle name, and then my baby mama's last name as their last name.
It's not okay. It's necessary.
Oh, don't even get me started on the Velma series. It had its redeeming moments where it was funny and you wanted to find out what happened next, but overall, it just felt like you're being preached at in every episode, and that got so fucking annoying. You're gonna do a Scooby-Doo remake and then not even include Scooby-Doo. That's what irritated me about the series. I could give a fuck about the race swapping. It's a colorful way of retelling the story, you know. Fucking stupid.
What the hell are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up. These men, they're doing impossible things. They're under the streets.
That's because, not trying to be sexist, but traditionally women do not seek out jobs that are dangerous like construction. And if they want to, I say go for it.
On the sewers,
I say women should be allowed to have the same jobs as men and get the same amount of pay. You got the same amount of experience and you're qualified for the job. You're a human being just like everybody else.
The power lines in the storms and the rain, they're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning. This thing that works and miraculous.
Argue with him all you want, but he's right. Our society was built on the backbones of men and women giving birth to children. That's exactly how it's played out for centuries. Whether you like it or not, that's just Mother Nature. But these days it's different because now apparently men can give birth to babies. And I'm like, stop. That only works if it's a chick transitioning into a dude and she's still got her vagina. That's the only way that works. Generally speaking, men do not give birth to babies. This is simple science, people. Our society has lost it. YouTube, our society has fucking lost it. And you can't question their narrative without being called a transphobe, and it's so irritating. The extremes of LGBTQ politics ruin it for people who are just trying to live their fucking life, dude.
This manner, they work themselves to death, and often literally, and the gratitude for that is sorely lacking, especially.
I'll talk for a minute, like personal story. So my dad passed away age 61. He was always in shape. He was on the calendar, the firefighter calendar. He did all that, bodybuilding and everything. Always in shape, health conscious, dead 61 years old. Why? Well, for a long time, he was a firefighter. And before he died, he told me about firefighters when they retire. A lot of times they die, 50s and 60s, because you work at the fire station 24 hours. And when the alarm goes off, you got to get up. So you go from a deep sleep to putting on heavy equipment, get on the fire truck, going to fight a fire, saving a life. You might see somebody dead, decapitated, badly injured, all kind of stuff that's traumatic, and all of that's going on with your heart. 0 to 100, stress, everything, anxiety, all of that. So you might literally die from working once you get to be 50 and 60. That's part of what men go through. Police officers, military, talking about the guys work on the power lines, any kind of infrastructure, building tall buildings, interstates, everything that you see around you, high risk, dangerous jobs. That's what men do. Women do not do these jobs typically. 80–90% of military, firefighters, police, construction workers, all of that is men. So what he's saying here, it's not
And that's got to be hard for women too, to work in an environment full of nothing but men. You know, that's got to face its challenges.
To be a man. It is required. It is necessary. If men don't behave as men, this world does not function. Period.
Especially among the people who should be most grateful. You see university professors, especially of the social justice bent,
He's not lying. Women get pissed off when men try to provide for them and then say, we don't need a man in our life. And then we back off, and then they bitch because they can't find a decent guy in their life.
The most protected and privileged people that the world has ever produced. They take everything they have for granted, failing to understand entirely that there's a massive infrastructure of unbelievably hardworking, solidly laboring, working class men breaking themselves in half on a regular basis, making sure that everything that always breaks works. And so a little gratitude for that is in order.
Very well said. If you want to see this full clip and the clip from earlier, links, as always, will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio. Go to the corresponding article on the website. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to all the people that understand who they are and what they're supposed to be doing. All the men understand what it's like to be a man. Mama, you can't be wearing your heart on your sleeve, crying and all that, man. You can't be trying to get into a role of a woman. I don't care if you are gay, straight, or whatever, you're still a man at the end of the day. And you need to participate in society to make it run properly. All right. That's just my point of view. Same thing with the women. Do your part. Let's work together and do what we are here for to make society function,
Power
to make
the people, man.
Operate efficiently. When people don't do that, that's when you have decay of society. That's when things just don't go right. I think it's happening right now in the West, America, Western Europe. It's happening. And as a result, we're declining. We could turn it around, but we got to go back to what we have done all throughout history. Because if we don't, we're toast. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the transgender person's viewpoint on what it's like to be a man, at least just from the outside, because
Well, from the outside, he's not wrong. Men do live a very lonely life. Suicide is higher amongst men than it is women because no one gives a fuck about a man's feelings. We're told to shut up and then we don't care about your feelings. At least women have their feelings respected. That's how I feel. But check out that video, man. Anthony Brian Logan, that's what's up. You want a link? I'll put it in the chat. 1 second. Check out his channel, man. $21. Sweet. I appreciate that, Stefan. Just makes the comments easier to read and keep up with because of how popular I am. But thank you for your $20. That's why I have it on slow mode. Thank you, Kyla, for your $2. Came here from another YouTube video. I was told you're a low-cal piece of shit, but you're actually kind of based. As a new fan, I would like to know, what is your favorite drink combo? Good question. Thank you, Kyla, for your donation. Of $2. Man, I've had so many drink combos. I like the majority of what I mix up. My main go-to is Jack Daniel's regular with Monster Green Energy. Though my favorite Monster is Monster Import. Shout out to AJ Universe, you big homie Alpha, Kenny Body, and I am, and we Todd did. That's what's up. Thank you for your 50 cents. I am, we, I see what you did there. Yeah, you got me. And like, I know I'm autistically retarded, and there ain't nothing wrong with that, YouTube. Thank you, Sunny Vale, for your $1 to Cash App. For big fan copes, fuck the trolls. I agree, fuck them. Fuck them. Sonny, thank you for your $1. Can you shout out your friend Catalina from Sonny? That's what's up. Shout out to Catalina from Sonny. Get it? That's what's up, tubes. That is most definitely what's up. I don't have any alcohol. I'm just sitting here sipping on water, man. Go for another like 20 minutes or so. Deathbed Tape says I'd get the $200 as soon as I sent back the signed album covers. I'll be doing that tomorrow. Got 75 tapes left of the new album, so check that out. Greatly appreciated. That's much better. Only negative $38.88. That looks much better. Yeah, thank you everyone for donating and help me get my account out of the negative. It went in the negative because I was providing content for you cool cobras over the weekend and getting puffers some food. So yeah, man, Puff really likes blueberries, I've noticed. Yeah, man. Thanks, Taylor, for your $4.20. Blaze it to PayPal. Keep being awesome. Stay safe. Oh, I will. I'm not going to stop being awesome. Fuck the trolls. They can't take that from me, man. They can't. Like, do what the fuck you want to do to Cobra, but check this shit. You can't stop me from being awesome or getting more subscribers. Hmm. Chilling out. Going live for an hour. Yeah, never listen to what a man should be like to a woman unless it's to attract a woman. And keep that in mind, that's subject to opinion because not all women like the same thing. Women want equality to men, and then they get a rude wake up call that being a man's not all it's cracked up to be. That men deal with their shit too, just like women do. Still want that equality? I say give it to them, man. One of those days I don't believe in Jesus. No, no, no.
Game Warden Joe Pickett. I'm gonna need a.
Yeah, it's that kind of a week. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Now, as many of you know, I like to play video games.
So what's Harry Potter's favorite breakfast cereal? I heard it was Magic Spoon. That's the old box of Magic Spoon.
In fact, I just finished Ghost of Tsushima, and I know I'm really late to the party, but I really enjoyed it. And now I'm scared of throat singing. And because I like
Puff is chilling out in his enclosure, staying warm and safe. Thank you for asking.
play video games, I am uniquely invested in the stupid things that
Puff is
video
doing good. I love my lizard.
game developers
He's a handsome bearded dragon.
continue to do. I've discussed on this channel a couple times before how the gaming world is more or less being cannibalized by the same ideology that destroyed Hollywood. This cannibalization has been slow rolling
I uploaded a short with Puff today, so I don't gotta prove shit.
for a little while, but it isn't nearly as
My
noticeable
fucking trolls need a hobby, dude. Holy fuck.
as it is in other forms of entertainment. Like, more or less, you can still enjoy most games without feeling a need to put your head in the oven. Most being the operative word. With that said, and at this point, I think it's pretty fair to say that some gaming companies are determined to follow in the footsteps of Hollywood. And they already are, in a couple major ways. I mean, firstly, like so many other brands, gaming companies are putting messaging into their products that do not resonate with the vast majority of their core demographic. And secondly, and maybe worst of all,
This is such homophobic BS. They try to include the gays and stuff, and then it pisses off everyone else, so then they get canceled for it. And then it pisses off the gays because they're not being included enough. The whole thing's just stupid, dude.
inserted themselves into a ton of social issues and force everyone in their orbit, including gamers, to abide by standards that exist in our current social climate. Basically, they're inserting themselves into conversations where they shouldn't be participating. What else is new? Nothing. That's the point. You might remember not too long ago, I discussed how Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is a first-person shooting game, basically removed country flags for call signs and replaced them with pride flags. For all the non-gamers out there,
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's a little too inclusive. Like, you should include the pride flags. With your country flags. Give people options, man.
sign or a calling card is basically a customizable feature that just
Keep in mind that Activision was made here in America, and they removed the American flag from their game because it might be deemed too offensive, and yet
a player's ID, rank, and other information during gameplay. People were very upset that there were no American flags, or any country flags for that matter, but you could choose to be whatever this is. Genderqueer demifrog? I don't know. But funnily enough, this situation isn't even the first of its kind. Days Gone was coming under fire for having a white male lead character because, oh, the horror. Spider-Man dug its heels in over people wanting to remove pride flags from the game. I don't know why saying pride flags is so hard, but it is. The Sims has just been in its own weird universe for years. That's self-explanatory. And there are plenty of other games I've played where I've noticed weird, unnecessary inserts that even have made me feel a little uncomfortable. I have absolutely had my fair share of moments where I'm like, what is this? Why is this here? Who did this? But here's the thing. What we have seen to date is obviously not enough as far as inclusion and acceptance goes. It's just not enough. So Call of Duty's daddy company, Activision, had to go the extra mile. But you know who will take you the extra mile in a good way? Today's sponsor, Magic Spoon. You know, they say breakfast is the meal of champions. I mean, sure, you could have eggs. We are allergic to those. Or you could just curl up on the couch with a bowl of cereal like you did when you were 5 years old watching Cheese TV on a Saturday morning. Sydney, nobody except millennial Australians are going to know what that is. So if you too like to get on the couch with a bowl of cereal, then Magic Spoon sounds like the thing for you. Magic Spoon has a range of cereals that are high in protein, taste delicious, and are only 140 calories per serving. The cocoa cereal is hands down my favorite. Reminds me of those Cheese TV mornings when I was a small child. But they also have several other flavors, including peanut butter, frosted, and fruity. Not only that, but I really like that these cereals have 0 sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 to 5 net grams of carbs.
You know what else is fruity? Those Call of Duty call signs.
serving. Magic Spoon cereals are also keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free. So if you too want a yummo snack or a breakfast of champions, then click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to try a variety pack today. And don't forget to use code Sydney Watson at checkout for $5 off your order. In the last few days, a high-profile streamer called Nick Merckx, who we're just going to call Nick for this video, was punished by Activision after he expressed an opinion on Twitter that children should be left alone when it comes to the issue of pride in schools. Nick said this in response to a fellow streamer called Puckett, who shared a video where demonstrators were getting physical with one another outside a California school board meeting over the school board voting to recognize June as Pride Month.
June, you don't even have school in June. And what's really fucking sad about today's society is you can't have a school board meeting in California about recognizing June as Pride Month without people getting violent and heated. Jesus Christ, act like your age, not your goddamn IQ.
Puckett tweeted, "This happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life."
Except sickos. Fuck sickos.
Nick tweeted, "Leave little children alone. That's the real issue."
No shit.
So later, Activision pulled Nick's operator bundle from both Call of Duty Warzone and
That's no bullshit. Children are more precious than rock and roll. That should be enough said.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Due to recent events, we have removed the Nick Merckx operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone store. We are focused on celebrating Pride with our employees and our community. Again, for those who don't know, the operator bundle is essentially Nick's own themed in-game outfit and other virtual cosmetic items that players can buy with real money from the store. And an operator in COD is basically a specific playable character. Now, I want to be extremely clear here. The opinion that Nick expressed is unbelievably innocuous, and it's one that even gay and lesbian people themselves express. However, yes, you are correct. It is 2023. We live in hell. We are on the hell gondola, and Activision took it upon themselves to punish a streamer for expressing an opinion that does not relate to them. While this behavior is expected at this stage, it's still totally batshit. Since all of this unfolded, Nick has been accused quite a lot of homophobia, to the point where even major news outlets are saying this situation happened because he made anti-LGBT.
How is it homophobic to say we need to keep kids safe? Our society gives me secondhand anxiety.
Just to reiterate, all he said was, leave little children alone.
Yes, every single detail of what you just said.
Nick even went on to clarify his position. During a live stream, he explained that he doesn't necessarily have a problem with pride, but believes it's his responsibility as a parent to explain that to his child, not the education system.
And
If schools want to have LGBTQ friendly clubs for the students to be a part of, fine. But it is not the school's job to preach LGBTQ. And at the same time, it's not their job to encourage homophobia either. Like growing up when I was a kid, if a teacher was married, it was Mr. or Miss. They had a wife or a husband, and that's all you needed to know. Teachers growing up in my day were not going on TikTok like, oh my God, you guys. So guess who just came out as pansexual? These are my pronouns. And okay, good for you. But when you're teaching, it's not your job to shove politics down students' throats. And at the same time, it's not your job to hate on it either.
I just don't think it's any place for a teacher or a school. I don't think it's the place to speak about things like that. And it's not that I think that it shouldn't be spoken about.
I mean, seriously, like, think about this. If you had an art teacher growing up, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, they're married, and that's all you needed to know. You can't shove religion down kids' throats, so why should this be any different? But at the same time, teaching kids to be tolerant is not a bad thing. We draw the line at sickos. Enough said.
If that's what you got from that tweet, then you're just wrong. You're just wrong. Simply feel that I want to be the one and my wife wants to be the one to speak with our child about stuff like that. And that was the tweet. That was the tweet. You can take the tweet if you want, and you can spin it, flip it, flop it, quote tweet it. You can put 10 paragraphs on top of it. You can do whatever you want to it to make you feel better if that's what you want to do. But that was the tweet. Okay. So if you came here to hear that, I hope you feel a little better about it. I didn't mean to upset anybody. I know that I did. I'm not apologizing about the tweets. I don't feel like it's wrong. I'm going to stand by what I said. I'm not going to delete the tweet. You know, I just want to make sure everybody understands exactly the point I was trying to make by tweeting my response.
He followed up these comments in a tweet thanking people for having his back and understanding his position as a new father. His PR team even explained further, saying the they Nick referred to was the teachers/school board, and by leave alone, he meant reserve conversations around sexuality in any of its forms to parents, which again—
Thank you. She said it, he said it, I fully agree.
Like, this is not controversial. These are just normal, sensible opinions being expressed here. And the worst part is they are shared by, like, most people who have a functioning prefrontal cortex. So anyway, with all of that said, this situation raises a couple important points for me. The first is that the threshold for what gets you labeled a homophobic bigot is getting lower and lower with each passing year. 15, 20 years ago, you might have actually had to say something overtly discriminatory towards a group of people to be considered genuinely resentful of them. You know, something like, I hate X, or we should eliminate all of Y, or have swastika flags on your front porch or something. Nowadays, you need only express the mildest criticism of a new age social issue to not only have a horde of angry people screaming at you on the internet, but also trying to upend your life.
And you know, that's the thing. If you got people screaming at you on the internet, all because you had a based opinion that wasn't hateful, you were just asking questions. That's the problem with today's society. You're giving these idiots on the internet way too much fucking power. Like, people are getting canceled and fired for stuff that was said on the internet. There's a big difference between what my fucking asshole trolls are doing. Those motherfuckers need to be locked up in a mental institution or thrown in jail versus, well, I support gay and trans rights, but I just don't think they should have more privilege than me because they've been oppressed for so long. It's not how equality works. That's basically what J.K. Rowling said, and she got canceled for being transphobic. I'm like, what? To such a fucking degree that if you play Hogwarts Legacy, people are calling you a transphobe. Never mind the fact that you can make your character trans.
Like, tolerance is no longer an option. You have to participate in aggressive—
That's rich of this side to be screaming tolerance. But the extreme woke assholes who are part of this gay culture, who are ruining it for everyone else, are super intolerant if you're not gay, if you're not trans, if you're basically a white, cisgendered, straight, heterosexual male, you're intolerated in our society. I don't say shit about it too much if I can help it because of the history of my people versus your people. So I try to acknowledge my privilege in that sense, but at the same time, revenge, hatred doesn't solve anything. All it does is continue to segregate us.
unbridled acceptance.
It's not the gay culture specifically, it's culture, it's society as a whole. And this is a point I tried to make in one of my previous live streams, that society dictates its opinion on whatever is culturally appropriate and whatever is culturally accepted and popular. Our society is controlled by sex, money, greed, and corruption, and it's just fucking disgusting.
Or else. That is the baseline.
Case in point, when it was popular to hate black people in the 50s, that's exactly what happened, and now it's different. Thank God.
Now of behavior, and if you don't participate in it, they're gonna call your boss. You will accept the rainbow flag, by God, or someone on Twitter will scream at you.
And who cares if someone at Twitter screams on you? What do they possibly have any? Just one person. And you should not force people to accept it. That's going to make them want to accept it less. You can't force people to like you. That's just the nature of life.
Clear here. A man is being punished by a video game developer for expressing not only a sensible opinion, but one that's not even homophobic. Which brings me to my second point. Developers seem to increasingly feel a need to not only force their politics onto consumers, but also onto their employees. Of course, this isn't new at all.
Let your consumers have their own politics. This is why Bud Light is getting so much slack for what they're doing. I could give a fuck if they put Dylan Mulvaney on the can. I could give a shit. Drinking it doesn't make you gay or trans. People are so fucking phobic about this. It's stupid. First world problems. Excuse me. Speaks high volume of first world problems when it's like, okay, so this woman in a third world country gets raped and beaten and nobody does shit, but you're pissed off because they put Dylan Mulvaney on the fucking can of Bud Light. Oh, gee, golly willikers.
You can find it all over the place in all different kinds of industries. And I understand how the argument in response
Compared
to
to third world countries, we have it pretty good here in America.
Be, well, everyone does it, so why can't gaming companies? But the reality is, it shouldn't be happening at all. Because given how big the gaming world is, acknowledging how much money is poured into a single game and knowing that game must have widespread appeal means that these gaming houses are limited to how much political nonsense they can shove down people's throats. I never thought I'd say this, but modern society makes me long for the days of subliminal messaging. You know, when you had to listen to songs backwards in order to hear the word
No one's playing video games for political ideology. We're playing it to have fun and escape the bullshit of life.
This isn't even the first time a gaming developer has come after an employee for not expressing aggressively rabid left-wing viewpoints. Back in January, news broke that Limited Run Games fired a community manager because she followed a handful of right-wing accounts on Twitter and expressed some no-no opinions. LRG respects all personal opinions, however, we remain committed to supporting an inclusive culture, they said.
And you shouldn't be having those no-no opinions. Ugh, fucking politics.
Upon investigating a situation, an employee was terminated.
You can't say you respect all opinions, though, if you fire her for being a part of liberal TikTok. I mean...
Our goal as a company is to continue to foster a positive and safe environment for everyone. The employee, whose name is Kara, was fired for following libs of TikTok on Twitter, expressing opposition to self-ID laws in a 2016 tweet, and expressing support for Hogwarts Legacy. But here's the clincher. That is a weird word. I don't want to say that ever again.
You got fired from your video game job for expressing support for a video game. Jeff Foxworthy, here's your sign.
Despite the fact that gaming companies seem to go hair-trigger ballistic and clutch their pearls the moment someone doesn't express unwavering support for some niche social cause, many have pointed out that they don't even apply their own values universally. For starters, Call of Duty Warzone, Modern Warfare, and Warzone 2 censored its Pride Month flags in the Middle East. They replaced the flags with blacked-out images. This is obviously not really a shock given the laws and social views that exist around LGBT issues in the Middle East. Plenty of countries ban games all the time for things they consider inappropriate that are included in the game itself. However, despite the values that these gaming companies appear to publicly have, it seems that they don't find any issue with releasing their games in countries that directly oppose those values. Because realistically, profit is probably considerably more important than instituting these social changes they apparently want to see in action. In the last few days, it was reported that this happened with Overwatch 2 and its Pride event. The game's developer, Blizzard, allegedly said that it will not run the event in countries with anti-LGBT+ laws in an effort to protect players from legal trouble. Let's also remember the time that Ubisoft tried to host a pro-LGBT esports tournament in the United Arab Emirates. This obviously resulted in backlash and they ultimately moved the event. Now, here's the thing. As an individual, you can have whatever opinions you want about how all of these situations play out. But let's be real for a second. If they genuinely cared so much about these issues, about LGBT issues, they would never have chosen the Gulf Coast for a rainbow gaming tournament in the first place. Blizzard even went to the effort of saying they'd had discussions with the government over this entire thing. As if that, changes anything at all? If Blizzard and these other gaming companies actually cared about this group of people, they would never host something in a country that goes against all of their values. They just wouldn't even do business with them. With all of that said, I know that another argument here will be, well, why would the gaming companies punish the citizens of a country for the actions of their government? But I think that that rolls back around to the fact that if you really do care about the values that you are very clearly displaying publicly in particular countries, then you will basically have to deal with some setbacks in order for your ideas to take root. At this point, in my opinion, these gaming companies are just full of hot air, taking action when they can't and won't lose anything. Ultimately, and like I mentioned, these companies seem determined to go down the same road as Hollywood, and apparently beer and other types of stores that are determined to force on their consumers that which they explicitly do not want. Because let's be real, and I think this is fair to say, gamers are not a terribly woke demographic. I think at the end of the day, a lot of this just ends up being kind of meaningless and a little bit performative because these companies will ultimately put profit over actually trying to institute the values that they seem to have. In the end, I find it really disappointing that one of the last seemingly apolitical forms of entertainment is starting its descent into the same madness that has infected everything else. Now, before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Magic Spoon using the link in the description, or you can be a cool kid and scan the QR code on the screen. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? What is your general takeaway when it comes to the Nick Call of Duty situation? Do you think it's wrong?
It's stupid that he got fired from his own job for wanting to protect kids. That's a little sus, dude. Just saying.
Think it's right? Do you think the opinion that he expressed is an innocuous one like I do? Do you think that it is in fact homophobic and his points
It's not homophobic to want to keep kids safe.
Not very
It should be a
inclusive
no-brainer,
or
like,
diverse?
fuck.
What do you think of the idea that the gaming industry is overall following in the footsteps of Hollywood? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it necessary? Is it to be expected? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you like the video, hit subscribe and the thumbs up button. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. Just be respectful about it. And I will see you guys next time.
Good Lord. $97.47. God damn, dude. That's most definitely what's up, tubes. That was a very generous donation of $100. Thank you. You're getting a shout out for sure before we close out the video. That'll piss off the trolls. Long live the Cobra. Thank you, Ryan, for your $100. I'll live as long as I can. And long live Aussie motherfuckers. Appreciate the support, yo. That definitely got my account out of the negative. Holy shit. Now, I want to end the live stream. I want all you trolls to be good little trolls and go to your King Cobra JFS subreddit and suck me off while you talk about how awesome I am. That's a good little troll. Go to the subreddit and get mad and jealous about how much money Cobra makes. Oh. Shout out to Jacob Jude. Happy birthday. A circle of protection for you and your brother Jordan. Thank you for your $1 to PayPal. Very badass. Thank you for your support. Puff appreciates it too. I love my puffers. Damn, son, $29.20 in my Cash App balance. Ooh-wee. That's why the trolls are jealous. Suck my 60,000 subscriber dick. Wrap up the video with some shout outs. Thanks, Nathan. $10 holler to Cash App. Love you, Copes. Have a beer on me. Cheers. For sure, dude. No, I'm not late for work, Jordan. You're late for the stream when I tune in. Thanks for your $1.20 donation. That's most definitely what the fuck is up. Shout out to Ralph and Evan Hash Browns. Thank you, Ronald, for your $5 to Cash App. I appreciate it. That looks like it's all the shout outs. Well, it's been over an hour. I guess I'll have to hit you up on the next one. Thank you for your donations. And thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.